Uh, first, a follow up on the ID question, because I've been working on this for a decade, and every time I try to think I got it right, I don't. So, who determines which form of ID the inmate gets?
The offender himself.
The offender. And does DOC consider all of those forms to meet the standard that was in the bill that passed?
Those
Because I don't.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But the standard that in the MOU,
Right, yeah.
the MOU with DMV, the MOU with the Social Security Administration.
I'm not going to waste the committee's time. We should talk, because I don't think so. I was out of the room when you began testifying, so I just want to ask you a question for clarification first. In terms of the medical staff and the mental health staff and that whole conversation about why you can't retain people, was the conversation about you can't retain them because of the amount they get paid? What was the reason that you gave?
The starting salary. It's not competitive to the private sector.
Okay. How do you know that is the reason?
I sit down and exit interviews with the majority. I do exit interviews, and telling me, I just got. We did one exit interview where a young lady that we thought was going to hire her provider knew that she was looking for a new job and gave her $10,000 more than what we were going to pay her.
Okay, so what percentage of people don't retain because of that reason?
I'll have to check with HR.
Can you get a breakdown of, through your exit interviews, the reasons people don't retain? Because as you know, I talk to a lot of folks who've been in those positions, and I'm not sure that that's the overriding reason why people don't retain. And I'll just leave that there, because we're going to have further conversation. Did your retention rate change during COVID?
The retention rate for who? For
the people that we're talking about in those medical services.
Medical services, it's stabilized, has stabilized, and we've added
During the
position.
period of COVID, did it change? Did it go up or down during the period? And you've already answered the follow-up. Did it stabilize? But during COVID, did it change?
So it did change during
Okay.
COVID.
Up or down? Down, I would
It went
assume.
down, and now it's up.
Okay. You, in response to Representative Walker, you said on education is going great. So I'm going to assume that you're doing some form of feedback from the inmates themselves to know that.
Yes, when I walk into the facilities on Tuesdays, that's one of the main areas that I go is the education department and the medical unit, and talk to the staff and talk to the individuals under my custody to see how things are going.
Is there a form of feedback that can be provided without being known?
At MYI, they do have the warden's town hall that they share feedback with the warden.
Right, but that's not what I'm talking. You're not anonymous in giving that feedback. Is
No.
there feedback that is gathered anonymously?
No, but that's when.
I mean, let me clarify why I'm asking the question, right? You can have people who are in a school system, forget prison, who are in a school system. They go to school every day, you check off all the boxes, they did not get what they needed to get, right? If you're in a prison where you might, regardless of what actually is true, you might feel like there's a consequence for suggesting that something's not happening that should be happening, you are not going to give adequate feedback if you are known. My question to you all should know that because you're the professionals. My question to you is there a way for me to provide you feedback that would be useful for you knowing what's actually going on without exposing myself?
Yes,
How?
providing it to me.
No, I'm exposed. How can I provide you the feedback without being known?
And that's why I'm waiting for the ombudsman system to come too, because that's an avenue that they can utilize too with the ombudsman.
25 years ago, I could have told you needed a way to give feedback without being known. My question is, has DOC on its own thought, hey, we need it? But I have the answer to my question, so I won't waste the committee's time. The True Unit and the Worth Unit. We have invested money into the True Unit and the Worth Unit. What is the point of the True Unit and Worth Unit? And the reason I'm asking that question is not because I'm against the True Unit or the Worth Unit, but the True Unit and the Worth Unit sit inside a prison that function as prisons, and we have not expanded to other prisons. I don't know what we're trying to do with the True Unit and Worth Unit. Are we ever going to try to expand? Am I ever going to get a proposal saying this is how we change Connecticut's prisons? Or is it just what some people have thought, this is something to look at?
The True Unit, I think, is very beneficial. to that population that serve.
Absolutely.
You have mentors that are coming in. You got life skills that are being taught to these individuals. You got educational piece that's being taught to these individuals. It's not your routine unit. They got their own washing machines. They got their own microwaves. They have more amenities.
Commissioner, for a second, just and with all due respect, I've already conceded that they're perfectly great units, and I love the True Unit and the Worth Unit. That's not the question. I've been there several times. I don't need to know what the units are. I'm trying to figure out, Connecticut invested money into this. And if we're investing money, we are investing money for a reason. I would hope that we are not investing money so that we can have a shining star inside of something that doesn't function that way forever. My question to you is, that investment in money should do something beyond just be a shining star. That's my belief. As the Commissioner of Corrections, is that what we are trying to do at some point? Because I haven't seen it.
That's what we're trying to do. As a commissioner, I probably would not expand on the True Unit or the Worth Unit because it is staffed heavily. In order for me to open up another True Unit at another correctional facility, you're going to have to staff it the same way, and it's very expensive. It is very expensive to staff the True Unit and the Worth Unit. It's not just 2 correctional officers, 1 counselors. You have multiple staff assigned to those units, so it's in a very expensive.
I recognize, and I don't want to go too far down that. I recognize that. I will just leave it with this. I recognize the cost of the True Unit and the Worth Unit. I also recognize the cost of doing things the way we've traditionally done it. I think the True Unit and Worth Unit are better, and in the long run, if we could make the prison system more like that, my costs would go down.
I agree.
Well, if we agree, then I would like to see a proposal at some point before I'm no longer the chair of the Judiciary Committee and chair of this subcommittee. Thank you, Madam